Hello, everyone, and of course, welcome back to another episode of XtalknIsh with your boy X.
Your boy Ish.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you go ahead and like and share this broadcast. If you are on Facebook, you can go ahead and like our Facebook page, of course, at X Talking Ish. If you are on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can check out our shows in the future. And if you want to go ahead and make sure you're alerted for shows as well upcoming, you can go ahead and hit that notification bell.
Ding.
Thank you very much for that, Ish. And
hmm
of course, as well, we are streaming on Periscope, on Twitter, on our Twitter page at X Talking Ish. Alrighty, then, before we get on to the shows, I'm gonna need Ish to go. Get on to the games. I'm gonna need Ish to go ahead and turn off that little ringety ding, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into these games. So we ain't got to worry about no rigmarole. Isn't that right, Ish?
Rigamorphous?
Rigmarole.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. You like that, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, we dropping bombs today. We dropping bombs the same way my boy Matt Ryan, ice cold, dropping bombs out in London at the moment. It is halftime for the Jets Falcons game. We do, of course, have these London games that the NFL has installed over the last 10 years. More news has come out ish that, of course, we will have more games abroad moving forward. Cities like a Mexico City, or, of course, more games in Germany. Before we get into, of course, this London game, Ish, how do you feel about the games that are going abroad and, of course, the NFL as a whole trying to expand its global footprint amongst the rest of the world? Kind of the same way with the NBA and what they do.
Yeah, I mean it works for a lot of people who have been fans of the league for a long time. They may remember NFL Europe, which was a league that they had a while back that folded. But there is still a lot of interest abroad in the NFL. I know in Germany they have a pretty big league that they play, and a lot of guys go over from over here and play in that league. There are leagues in Italy and some of these other countries. So there's definitely interest out there for the game. Maybe not as widespread as, well, definitely not as widespread as here. But there's interest out there, and it only helps the NFL to go out and try to get the to
The
spread the
best of the
game as
best.
far as they can, right? So it's good for them. You can get what you can get. I'd be interested to see some of these games in other parts of Europe. I think that London, you could see the turnout at this game. It's a really, really big turnout. So, I'd be interested to see some of these other cities that they were looking at going to. And I'd love to actually go to a game abroad sometime.
Nah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Of course, being a Titans fan, Titans played the Chargers about 6, 7 years ago in Wembley. I do have, of course, a lot of Titan fans that I do know, and they shared their pictures over the weekend of their experience going to that London game, and I 100% agree with you on that one. As much as I don't want as a fan to have a home game taken away here in the United States, as much as I don't want that to happen, sometimes the best thing in life are your own experiences. And to be able to have an experience like that is something that you can always be able to tell any and everybody for the rest of your life, right? Being able to say, I went to London to watch a football game, to other people might not be the funnest thing to tell somebody, but it is something that if you are a football fan that you definitely might want to let everybody know about, right? All right,
Yeah,
so
most
with
definitely.
that being said, let's go ahead and let people know our picks before this game. And let's let them know why we decided to make these picks, Ish.
Yeah, I'll just start out with my pick. So I did pick the Jets, which it looks like a really horrible pick at the moment. I picked the Jets because there are some key absences from that Atlanta offense. Russell Gage is out, Calvin Ridley is out, and that offense has been struggling as is. So my anticipation coming into this game was when you're taking an offense that is 23rd, 24th ranked offense, 25th points for, and you're taking away some of their key weapons. I expected them to struggle against this Jets defense that has been somewhat okay, pretty much middle of the pack. However, it has only allowed Kyle Pitts to step up and make more plays. And if anything, this is a very, very encouraging sign for the Atlanta Falcons fans because Kyle Pitts has kind of been up and down. He's shown some flashes, but this game in particular, he has really started to kind of show out. Hayden Hurst also with the touchdown in the first half. So Matt Ryan definitely connecting with the tight ends, making do with what he has. And hopefully for Atlanta, this is a step in the right direction. I don't really know what the right direction is for them because at the moment you don't see them competing for anything playoff wise or division wise for maybe a couple years.
No, I definitely agree with you. Let's just bring up, of course, Matt Ryan's stats at the moment: 18 for 27, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, 111.5 passer rating. That's the Matt Russell. That's the Matt Ryan we know. That's the Matt Ryan we've seen in his NFL career be that guy, at least in the first half. Second half, very questionable, mainly because of the team that he's on. That's really what it comes down to. Let's be real, Ish. If Matt Ryan wasn't in those Tide commercials recently, I'm so serious. I think he might be on the move because Matt Ryan's time in Atlanta seems like it's ticking, and has nothing to do with him. It seems like what you're saying is like it seems like it's time to rebuild. It seems like it's time to move forward. It just seems like it's time to start over with your dynamic tight end with Pitts and of course with Ridley. Matt Ryan is a serviceable quarterback. That's why, of course, I picked them. The reason why I picked the Falcons is because record-wise, rookie quarterbacks are 0-4 in London games. That's just something that I had to take into account. It has nothing to do with what the Jets did to the Titans last week because I know people want to bring up old stuff.
No,
here you go. Here you go.
You a hater. We already know. Like you had to drop it in because everybody already knew.
No, I had to let. It's a disclaimer, Ish. It's a disclaimer.
Slide, but now we're not letting you slide. We know
it's a disclaimer. It's a disclaimer. Y'all leave me alone, all right? I'm still distraught. I watched college football last night. I don't know what the hell going on in college football anymore. Okay,
go ahead. Say you bitter.
I'm not bitter.
I had to let it go. Loss got you all confused.
The good thing about football, me and you, we play football a long time, Ish. Football is a week by week emotional roller coaster. You got to control them emotions and understand it's a long season, all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. But before that, let's go ahead and check in the comment section with my boy Lorenzo Guy. He says, hey, hit me up afterwards. Learn more about production. I'm going to hit y'all up. No charge. I want y'all to outshine all the others. We appreciate that, Lorenzo. So you definitely will be hit up after this game. After this show. I promise you that. And he also says, after that Super Bowl, Matt Ryan had a ticking time clock. Yeah, it's
about the time. I would argue that if Kyle Pitts wasn't available,
he might be
in this
gone.
Draft. They would have drafted a quarterback, and it might have been.
It would have been like what the Packers did with the Rodgers.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and move on to the game here in Houston, Texas. It looks like Ishmael is very excited about this game. The New England Patriots versus the team we call the Houston. No namers. Just kidding. The Houston Texans. Let's be real. After week 1, it looked like the Houston Texans were going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, it seemed like you're laughing. I mean, you're laughing. Hey, man, these Texan fans, they were excited. They were hyped. This is a new season. Mm-hmm. They had it, man. Tyrod Taylor was just doing his thing, slanging it everywhere, and Houston hopefuls, man. All they need is hope. And after Tyrod got hurt, it has not been that at all. And with that being said, last week, of course, with the debacle of putting up as many points as me and you put up, Ish, on the scoreboard against the Buffalo Bills, I'll just be honest with you, Ish. This game right here is going to show the mental nuts of the team for the Houston Texans to see how they play for the rest of the season. Because the Patriots, they're an okay team. They're not the old school Patriots, right? So I honestly expect this game to be a lot more competitive than people think. Yes, I think the Patriots win by like a field goal. I don't think the Patriots are going to go out here.
Bill Belichick versus a rookie quarterback.
Let me explain. You're 100% correct. But again, though, I feel like the Texans will find a way to keep it a lot closer than people think, and the Patriots will squeak out of here with a win. But the Texans as a whole, we saw this coming. We expected them to win a little more after Tyrod got hurt. It seems like the rest of the season for the Texans are kind of on pins and needles at the moment.
I don't have too much to say about this game because it's absolutely garbage. It's garbage. The NFL is going to make me watch this game. But Bill Belichick versus rookie quarterback. He threw 4 interceptions last week. I wouldn't be surprised if he come out and throw 4 again. The man is terrible. This is what they wasted They had limited draft picks in this draft, and
This
then
is
they
their first
went out and
pick
they
of the
wasted
NFL
their
draft.
first pick on Davis Mills. A waste of a pick. Like, yeah, we knew you weren't gonna have a quarterback. Yeah, you need to possibly look for a quarterback in the future. But let's be honest, not many people thought you were going to compete this year. So why not wait? Draft for any of the thousands of needs you needed instead of a quarterback in this draft. And then next year, when you're picking up really high in the first round, because everybody knows that's what's going to happen, then you can worry about picking a quarterback. But instead, y'all want to be whatever you are in this organization, making the decisions that you made.
The
and you
Patriots of the
South.
South.
This guy, and this is what you get. Okay, 4 interceptions. Go. Let's move on. Nobody care about them. They're gonna lose.
Until
Tyrod Taylor comes back, I don't even really want to address them. I don't want to talk about them. I think we should just skip their games because we know it's a loss until Tyrod Taylor comes back.
Davis Mills is a smart, capable quarterback from Stanford University. Okay, he's a smart man.
Yeah, he need to go hit the books.
All right, just to, of course, reiterate what Ish said, the rookie quarterbacks against the New England Patriots are 1-10 since 2014. So take that into account as well. Lorenzo Guy also says they needed solid draft picks and picked up Cam Newton. Would have done better than now. We'll see. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Broncos and Steelers game. Ish, I want you to go ahead and start off with this one because, like we say every week, we don't see each other's picks. We don't see each other's picks until, you ask for my pick, I give you your picks, you make the little graphic, and then we put it on there, right? This game, honestly, I wanted to go the opposite team that I did pick just because of I feel like we expect more from this team and we are trying to get more from this team, but we just don't know yet, right? So it's interesting to me how both of these teams are going to perform this weekend. It's going to be very interesting. So it's my bad. I didn't want to cut you. I didn't want to keep on moving. So I want you to start first. What do you think about this game, sir?
I mean, to me, the situation is, like you said, we expect a lot from this team. I believe you were talking about the Broncos. And, I expect a lot from them because they have a really good defense. They have a Super Bowl winning defense. They have the 4th ranked defense, 2nd in points against. So, I expect a lot from this team. I understand that I give them a hard time because they played 3 teams that hadn't won a game to be 3-0. And then they lost to the Ravens at home. And I wasn't really too happy with the performance. I gave them a hard time. I give Theodore a hard time because Theodore doesn't have a good record when it comes to being the man. Last year was not the year we were expecting from Theodore after he went 5-0 with the Saints. His mama named him Theodore. I'm going to call him Theodore.
All right, okay? man. All right, coming to America.
So Theodore supposedly is starting this game. I'm expecting a bounce back game for Theodore against Ben Roethlisberger, a shell of his former self, Ben Roethlisberger, against this defense. I expect this defense to give him hell all day, and I expect them to go into Pittsburgh, bounce back, and win because they need to continue to compete in what is one of the top 2 divisions in the NFL.
Like I stated, I went back and forth on this one. Everything that you said makes 100% truth and makes sense because of what the Broncos are bringing into Pittsburgh. One of the best defenses in the league, young offense, but when the defense is able to, I guess you could say, get going and also create havoc, it helps the offense. So I think that offense feeds off of the defense, and that's something that I can see happening in this matchup. For me, I just can't see the Steelers losing twice at home early in the season to a young quarterback like Joey Burrow, a divisional game, and then losing again to a team like the Broncos. Not saying that they're not going to lose, but of course, with Mike Tomlin never having a losing season so far, they go on the whole 1-4-ish. It's going to be this Steelers season is going to be looked at very, very differently if you go down 1-4 instead of going down 2-3. I think they still just win at home, very, very close, and they find a way to continue to be who they are as in the Steelers and get better throughout the season, get that running game established. And Big Ben, of course, that is the main question. That's the main factor of everything that the Steelers is doing right now. If Big Ben comes in there and turns the ball over, would not be surprised at all if I see Dwayne Haskins. Just be completely honest.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna wait for this game, the result of this game, and for the recap. But I think there is a discussion to be had that we should probably talk about this being the end of the era and the beginning of the rebuild in Pittsburgh. I just think that it's that time. But I'm gonna wait for the result of this game before we really start to have that kind of conversation about what needs to happen in Pittsburgh and the changes that need to happen to start that rebuild.
At the moment, Big Ben is 3-4 in the regular season against Denver, and he also has at least one pick in every game against Denver. So, something to look out for. All right, Lions Vikings. Let's be real-ish. Ain't really too much to talk about in this game. The great Detroit City team of the Lions play against the Minnesota Vikings, an 0-4 team versus a 1-3 team. But let's be real, the Vikings aren't your average 1-3 team. They probably could be 3-1, probably could be 4-0. But at the end of the day, your record is your record, and the Vikings are 1-3. I do feel like they will get back on track against the Lions. I'm not saying the Lions are a bad team. They just cannot finish games. And they have a lot of injuries at the moment. And I just feel like the Vikings, of course, playing at home, they'll take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, the injuries right now, especially on that defensive side, that's a big thing. TJ Hawkinson, who's like their biggest offensive threat, he was limited this week. He may still play, but I mean, when you're limited with a knee injury, man, what can you expect? DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. I mean, the list goes on and on for Detroit. It's just not looking good for them right now. It's not the best time for them to get hit with the injury bug, and especially not against a team that, like you said, they are currently 1-3, but they are one of the better 1-3 teams in the league. Kirk Cousins has actually performed really well in each of the games that they have played so far this season. The first two games that they lost by a combined total of 4 points. So, I mean, when you really look at it and you really think about it, this team, while their record it says 1-3, they play a lot better than 1-3. And I expect them to do that against the Lions. It's as simple as that. The Lions, they knew it was a rebuild when they made the trade for Matt Stafford. They knew they were going to be rebuilding. They knew that they were in for the long haul with the picks and everything that they got. And I think you're just seeing it right now. I mean, it's a team that's young. It's a team that's learning. It's a team that they got a ways to go. And it just so happens that in the NFL, when you're playing these games and it comes down to crunch time, if you don't have that culture, that winning mentality, that know-how to get the job done, then you just aren't able to pull out some of these close games. And that's just what's happening with the Lions at the moment.
Let's be real-ish. Detroit Lions have been rebuilding since 1937.
Kind of like the University of Texas.
We're going to go ahead and move on with that one because apparently Ish likes to talk about old stuff. Likes to bring up old stuff. That happened yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the future. And that is the Saints versus Washington football team game. And, of course, I'll let you have the Broncos Steelers. I'm going to go ahead and start off with this one.
Yeah.
Because this was the same type of situation for me for this game. I felt like this game is 50-50. I mean, this is two teams. Both teams are 2-2. Both teams look ugly at times. Both teams look pretty damn good at times. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna get from this game. I'm really like, Jameis could throw 7 touchdowns. He could throw 7 interceptions. I don't know what the hell's going on. Washington football team at the moment have like the 3rd worst defense in the league, giving up 30 points per game. I mean, It is. The Washington football team is not what we thought they were going to be last year, of course, coming into this year when it comes to at least just the defensive side of things. So that puts so much more pressure on Taylor Heinicke to be able to perform and get them out of, difficult situations. They were able to get out of Atlanta with a victory, because of what Taylor Heinicke was able to do. But this game, even though you are at home, I want to see, of course, as always, Jameis what type of Jameis are we gonna get? Are we gonna get, a little overdoing Jameis? Are we gonna get what you need to do to take care of the football Jameis? That is, of course, what'll be yet to be seen. And if the Washington team are, of course, giving up at least 30 points per game, I feel like the Saints can at least put up 24 to at least 28 points minimum. With that being said, I had to go with the Saints in this game.
I liked everything you said because it's two underperforming teams compared to what we thought they were going to do coming into the season. It's two teams that are still struggling to find their way. Two teams that expected to be in the conversation for their division at the end of the year. That right now there are a lot of question marks about them. So I agree with everything you said, and really for me, the thing is. The Saints, one, they struggle on the road away from the Superdome. That's one thing to consider. Two, that offense is kind of up and down. They 1 week they show up, the next week they don't. Jameis has been, I would say, average, maybe average. I like to give him a hard time, but he's been average. The thing for me though is a surprising stat for this Washington team that, like you said, the defense, we expect their defense to do really well. We expect their defense. We thought the defense was going to carry them. This offense is the 10th best scoring offense in the NFL. 10th best. Top 10 scoring offense in the NFL. That is why I think that somehow Washington will find a way to win this game. They won a very big game, come from behind win last week against the Atlanta Falcons. I expect for Washington to keep the momentum up and not only beat the Saints, but beat them at home because, that is going to play a big role in this game. I think at home for Washington is what tipped it in their favor for me, because if it were in the Superdome, I definitely think I would have been picking the other way around. I just think that the home field advantage for Washington and Jameis Winston seeming to have issues, here and there, and I don't know. I still don't believe in Jameis. I don't think he's going to be able to do it on the road. I got Washington.
No problem. I completely understand. So that's why they play the game any given Sunday, as they say, as always, right? All right, shout out to Cody Chapman. He's checking in. He says, what's good, fellas? Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Of course, we're just going down the rundown of Week 5 NFL schedule. And the next game we're, of course, talking about will be this Florida matchup, the Dolphins and the Buccaneers. Looks like Ish is, again, very excited for this game because it looks like he's just shaking his head for joy because most likely it seems like we are both all in on the Buccaneers. Ish, you want to go ahead and start off with this one?
Buccaneers will win.
We're going to keep this one very short and sweet, just due to Tua not being there. And to be honest with you, if Tua was there, I'm still probably picking the Buccaneers. So it ain't too much to talk about. Buccaneers, if y'all lose this game, might have to look at y'all a little sideways, but y'all are the defending champs. We also got to understand, too, Ish, hey, when you are the defending champs, everybody's going to give you the best effort. Not saying that they're going to lose. I'm just saying the Buccaneers probably going to win by 20.
There's not a lot of effort coming from Miami at the moment.
Yeah, that season, yeah. We'll talk about that again on the recap show at the end of the year. If that might be one of our most disappointing teams, I'll say that. Alrighty then, Titans, Jaguars. Ish, you wanna start on this one?
I actually was going to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars if Urban Meyer didn't pull the stunt that he pulled this past week. Wow,
Urban Meyer was the one that started. Okay,
if we didn't have all this nonsense ongoing about Urban Meyer and him having to earn back the respect of the locker room and so on and so forth, and just more, distraction. I would have picked the Jacksonville Jaguars. I thought that they played well against Cincinnati. I have long thought that they are a better team than we think. We know that they're a bad team, but I think that they play people close. They give people a game, whether or not the score shows it all the time. If you watch their games, they actually do give people a good game. And it being a division game, it being at home for Jacksonville, I just thought, maybe they're due one, and there's no better way than to kick an opponent while they're down in the Tennessee Titans. And I was thinking, if they come in focused, they could win this game. Then Urban Meyer decided to do what Urban Meyer loves to do, and that's be a distraction, make it all about him. And as a result, even with Julio Jones missing, AJ Brown is back. I just feel like Tennessee's going to bounce back. Mike Vrabel's the kind of guy that knows how to get his team ready to go and bounce back. And that's why I expect Tennessee to run the ball all over them and win this game.
Definitely understand where you're coming from. Not understand where you're coming from when it comes to actually thinking about that you would pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to win. Maybe if the Jacksonville Jaguars had a win on the season, I would be like, okay, you know what, man? No.
The Jets didn't have a win on the season.
Look, bro, we're not doing this. Tell you right now, we're not doing this.
The Jets didn't have a win on the season.
This is week 5, not week 4. This is week 5, not week 4. Stop bringing up old stuff. We're not doing that.
To give anybody
anyways, like I'm saying, like I talked about with games previously, some things you got to go with trends. At the moment, Derrick Henry, career-wise, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, averages 101 yards rush per game, 11 touchdowns in just 10 games against Jacksonville. Also, Mike Vrabel's record against the Jacksonville Jaguars is also 5-1. With that being said, Tennessee, you need to take care of your business. If you don't, let's just be real. This season isn't what you thought it was going to be. Because at the moment, Julio Jones is not what. And again, it's not even about being healthy. Honestly, it's not even about being healthy. It's about the production alone. Like I don't mind you missing games because you're old and stuff, but I need you at least catch a touchdown too. You've had more unsportsmanlike conduct penalties already on you than you have.
I think this trade is definitely not turning into what y'all thought it was.
Oh yeah, you think? Yeah, I will agree with you as well on that one, Ish. Yes, but that's good old Tennessee for you. So I expect nothing less. But hey, I'm still going to keep on rooting because that's what idiotic fans like myself do. Alrighty then, we're going to go ahead and move on with the Packers and Bengals. This is, the old wily vet versus the young, as they call him, Joey Franchise in the Bengals locker room. I like the nickname. I actually do. Ish, I think I want to go ahead and start off on this one. Even though,
yeah, go ahead.
Even though both of us are picking the Packers, I did want to slide over to I really did because of course what they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we talk about this all the time. Hey, that was a divisional game. Sometimes divisional opponents slip up, and you get you one, right. But the Bengals played very, very well. I mean, very dominating performance again at home in Pittsburgh. I was very, very impressed. That wasn't just a squeak by win. That was a dominating performance, and I respect them tremendously on that.
Yeah.
My bad, man. So I was just going to say, I just think I had to do the dramatic pause. My bad. I just think the Packers overall, even without Jalen Smith, of course, is a better team. And even though, of course, the Packers are not at home, I think they take care of business. And moving forward, again, with Jalen Smith added on to that defense, this is the Packers team that I think we definitely want to have to look forward to and look out for in the NFC to see if, maybe they can host a NFC Championship game because Jalen Smith, I think, found a perfect home for him in Green Bay.
So I love everything you said because I also thought about picking the Bengals in this game. I was thinking, maybe the Bengals, I like their young offense. I like the young team. I like how they play. 2 top 10 defenses going against each other. So expecting a really good game. The difference for me just happens to be that the veteran versus the younger guy. I just think that Aaron Rodgers is going to know how to win and pull out this game that's a lot closer than Joe Burrow is at the moment. I just don't think that Joe Burrow is going to be able to handle it even at home. I think that he's still not there yet, but he's close. I do know that Jair Alexander being placed on IR was a big concern for me. When I heard that, that was one of the reasons why I immediately was like, Cincinnati, that receiving core is looking good. I really like those guys. I think that, Joe Burrow, if people were questioning whether or not they should have selected a wide receiver at the beginning of the draft this past year instead of a offensive lineman,
I think that conversation is dead. Was wrapped up. Yeah,
that conversation is dead because has they just come out and balled out together so far. But I just think Green Bay is going to find a way. Green Bay is the team that they know they've been there, they've done that. And like we always say, there are certain games when you're a team that's supposed to compete for a championship, you just know how to win those games. You know how to come through in the clutch and win the games that you're supposed to win. And I think this is a game for Green Bay. When you look back at your season, you're gonna look at it and be like, yeah, that's a game we should win, and hopefully they'll say, yeah, we won that.
Well, it looks like you and Lee are on the same page. I definitely love the comment that Lee dropped. He said, I think the Bengals get the W. Jair Alexander sent to the IR. I think the Bengals offense abuses them. He also says NT Higgins is
Yeah.
back. They've been balling the last few weeks. It could be a rough one for the Packers secondary. It's 100% true, Lee. You are correct on that one. That is something that you have to, look into. I'm just very, very fond of the guy named Mr. Rogers, and it's his neighborhood, and he gonna be out there slinging that thing. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and take the old vet over the young boy wonder. But Mr. Joey franchise, look, the NFL is in good hands with Herbert, Mahomes, Burrow. I mean, Dak, of course. I mean, it's the NFL and the NBA. I mean, all sports. Every sport right now at the moment have really good players in individually, good teams, good franchises. I mean, for anybody that's kind of complaining about sports, you just ain't watching, really. You're just not watching. All right, let's go ahead and move forward to the Eagles and the Panthers. This is a very interesting matchup. You don't really see the Eagles and Panthers play each other too much. So, again, this game, like I talked about before with previous games, a lot of these games can go back. I mean, 50-50. That's why it was hard for me to pick some of these games. And when I saw your picks as well, I was just like, wow, we must be on the same page.
Definitely.
Because we definitely picked out of the 14, we picked about, I think, 11 of the same, 11 or 12 of the same.
Only 3 games we split.
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be one of those days where we either gonna be like yes or we go like. So it's gonna be very interesting, this Eagles Panthers game. I think the Eagles could pull it out too. I'm not shooing the Eagles like they can't win this game. The only reason why I really picked the Panthers is because they are at home. I think they get it done at home, and even though with the Eagles, I just feel like besides the injury that they have on defense, they expect Jalen Hurts to do too much to just make a 5-yard gain. And what I really don't want from Jalen Hurts is for him to become damaged goods. That is my worry of him. Because let's be real, and we talk about this all the time, I don't think he'll be with the Eagles that much longer. I don't think the Eagles believe in him. I think he'll move forward. I just hope wherever he goes, moving forward, he'll still be in great health to be able to contend for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's too many question marks, too much drama going on with the Eagles at the moment. With the Jalen Hurts thing, I mean, they just need to figure that out. It's just week in and week out, more discussion about what's happening, more rumblings about Deshaun Watson and making the trade for him or something. It's just too much happening around that team for them to really lock in and focus and compete at the level that they should compete at. Not to mention, the Carolina Panthers showed us that they are actually a really solid team against the Dallas Cowboys. Even though we picked the Cowboys to beat them, I think we both were very surprised at how well they played against them.
I was impressed on how they came back after being down.
Yeah, definitely impressed. Very impressed. They impressed me with just their fight, with how well they played to close that game out. They came up short, but I mean, they looked like a team that could, if you kept playing, come back and win that game, right? If there was enough time. So I just think for me, Carolina's just a better team. They're a better team. They know what the moment is. They're at home. Sam Darnold still, I think, has a point to prove to the league. And I just expect for Carolina to win this game. I think I heard maybe that Christian McCaffrey potentially could be coming back. Who cares, really? Because Chuba Hubbard has been playing really well. I don't know if people are really talking about it, but he has played really well in McCaffrey's absence. And I think that offense continues to roll as they move forward. Hopefully Jalen Hurts has a game. Last week, I thought he played well against the Chiefs. When you got Patrick Mahomes throwing 5 touchdowns, then what can you do, right? So
let's talk a little bit about Christian McCaffrey before we move on to the next game. You know, they say it all the time when it comes to paying running backs. and I'm not trying to get on Christian McCaffrey at all, but when he was made the highest paid running back at the time, let's be real, it wasn't that much outrage. Everybody's like, "Oh man, this guy, he's so shifty. He can catch the ball, he can run, he can do this, he can do that." But we've always been, or we've always had the notion of running back wise, you can't give them so much because they are going to break down throughout the season. And in this day and age, if your name is not Derrick Henry, I'm to be completely honest, if your name is not Derrick Henry, you're not a workhorse running back. Maybe Kamara.
Yeah, I
I'll
was gonna say Alvin
say like
Kamara. You probably
Kamara,
you give them.
or I said maybe a couple other running back. But I'm talking about 35 carries every game type stuff, and maybe 40 touches every game, and you can continue to get better throughout the game. I like Christian McCaffrey, but unfortunately, history has shown us right now that his injuries have not kept him on the field. And like I will say all the time, your best ability is availability. So if you're not on the field, Madden by itself disrespected. I feel like Derrick Henry would ranking Christian McCaffrey at 99. With not even playing the full season last year, and you're gonna rank him over a guy that ran for 2,000 yards. But again, that's not my business. I don't play Madden. I
Well,
don't care. But
the one thing I
I
will
got you.
say, I think earlier in the season I had noted it after maybe their first game, the number of touches they gave Christian McCaffrey, and they didn't give Chuba Hubbard any touches in that game. I believe. I think it was the first game of the year, and I came back in on the show and I was like, at what point does he start to go downhill and suffer from the number of touches you're giving him in a game, and you're not even trying to give the backup any touches in the game. And to me, I even thought before they started playing Chuba Hubbard, when they draft him, I was like, wow, like what a 1-2 punch. This guy, if you watched him in college, he can ball, and he has shown in taking over for Christian McCaffrey, he can ball. So it's like, why? I understand Christian McCaffrey is the guy that he is. He's the highest paid running back for a reason. He does so much for your team. But when you got a backup like this guy behind him, you've got to find a way to share that load, because Christian McCaffrey has already had the injury issues that he's had, and he is very important to this team, whether or not, we say like, oh, well, they still were able to win without him. He's still very important to this team. So
Especially if you're getting paid that type of money that you're getting paid.
especially if you're getting paid that type of money, right? So I don't understand why the coaches weren't doing the best that they could to also preserve the investment they have in Christian McCaffrey. But hopefully, this injury has helped to bring light to how good Chuba Hubbard is and how much they should be able to allow them to split a little bit of time, or even have them on the field at the same time and find ways to use that to their advantage so that they can, preserve Christian McCaffrey for as long
Pretty
as you
much.
can in the
Pretty
season.
much. Let's go ahead and move on from this game. But another fun fact on this game: Hertz and Darnold both ranked top 10 in combined pass and rushing yards this season. So that's a fun little fantasy football stat. If y'all are, of course, picking up a quarterback late minute, Sam Darnold, I know is definitely available out there for folks. All right, Browns and Chargers. I'll go ahead and let you start this one off.
This was a painful one for me.
I
It
feel the
was a
same
painful
way.
one for me. I like both of these teams. I think that both of these teams are in the conversation with the Buffalo Bills as teams to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Um, I love the two-headed monster in the backfield for Cleveland. Anybody who's watched the show knows how much I like those guys. I think very highly of that running attack that they have in Cleveland. Um, I just think maybe the torch is passed as far as next guy up. I think Justin Herbert. I think he's the real deal. I think he's the real deal. I think that LA they're the real deal. They actually are here to make some noise. They got a top 10 defense, just on the outside of top 10 offense, 11th ranked offense. Um, I mean, it is, to me, it it's just gonna be so hard for Cleveland to go into LA and win this game. That's all it is for me. I think that the Cleveland secondary, if I remember correctly, hold on, let me double check my notes. Um, if I remember correctly, you got Ward was hurt. Yeah, he was limited with the neck. And I think that part of that, Troy Hill limited with his toe. So you got some injuries in the secondary that I was concerned about going in. And I've always kind of been concerned about the secondary when it comes to playing around this defensive line and helping this defensive line out, because everybody knows this defensive line is one of the best in the league. I just don't think that. I think that it's the wrong time. I think at a different time in the year, I definitely would have picked Cleveland. But I think with the injuries going into LA, um, it's just coming off that game against Minnesota as well, where you expended a lot just to win 14-7. It's just too much.
No, I definitely understand completely where you're coming from on that one. Last week we picked, of course, the Browns to beat the Vikings. That happened very narrowly, very narrowly. Very good game on both sides of the ball. I think it took a lot out of the Browns, especially on that game as well. I would have picked the Browns as well if they didn't perform like they did last week. If they would have beat the Vikings a little more soundly, I probably would have beat the Browns. I was started to pick the Browns. The Chargers, to me, even with their loss, it just seems like they're continuing to trend upwards every week. And it seems like Justin Herbert is continuing to get better. It just seems like that offense is continuing to get better. The defense is coming along now. So it's just this Chargers team. The only way they're going to, of course, win the fan base in LA is you have to win. Plain and simple. We saw what happens, of course, on Monday Night Football with the Chargers and Raiders game, right? I'm sorry, yeah, Chargers and Raiders game, to where it was more Raider fans than Chargers because, of course, the Raiders used to be in LA at one point in time. The Chargers are really not even the step kid. They're not even the adopted kid. They not even the orphan kid. They chop liver. Like they don't even they like, bro, why are you even here? Like, why are you even in the state of California? That's how a lot of folks even look at the Chargers. And it's really low key kind of sad. Like, it really is, because the Chargers as an organization have a lot of pretty damn good history. They just can't get over the hump. And with Justin Herbert, I think he is the guy to lead them over the hump sooner rather than later. And in this game, I feel like they'll do what they need to do to win this game. And also another thing as well, before we move on, the Browns as an organization, are they going to move forward from OBJ? Or are they going to, what's going to happen with that? It doesn't seem like it's really working the way they want to.
It's not working. I think everybody can see that it hasn't been working. But when you invest what you invested to get him, do you move away from him that easily? What can you even get for him in return at this moment? I don't know.
Now, this is a great question by Lee, because I actually made a joke to a Dolphins fan about this earlier in the week. He said, legit question, y'all think Herbert would be as highly thought of if the Dolphins drafted him over Tua? I'll be honest with you, Lee. I'm not saying he might be better with the Dolphins, but he'll have different weapons, and I think he'll still be as good and as productive, and I think that would help the Dolphins as an organization to put better pieces around him. Because with Tua, and I've always stated this since day one, when you are a left-handed quarterback, the offense is just completely different for you compared to being a right-handed quarterback. And Tua, to me, when he had that great pass in the national championship game to Devontae Smith, everybody just thought he could throw those type of passes all of the time. And that was just a great play. Now, I'm not calling it luck at all. I'm calling it a great play, great scheme, great everything on that type of play. But overall, it just seems like Tua is too brittle. It just doesn't seem like he's comfortable. It just doesn't even seem like it just doesn't seem like he's ready for the NFL. And I think the Dolphins are really looking at it as like, man, we made a huge mistake.
Can I steal one of your lines?
Of course you can. We'll wait and see.
Alabama quarterback.
Oh.
He's an Alabama quarterback.
Oh.
Greg McElroy, AJ McCarron, Blake Smith. Ooh. The list goes on and on. Like, yeah, you can win a national championship at Alabama. That does not necessarily mean you can play in the league. Mac Jones is an outlier to me, especially
what about Hurts?
Of the situation.
What about Hurts? Does Hurts count?
Especially because, Hurts kind of went to Oklahoma. He played, but then he got sat for Tua, and then he went to Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley. So I think Hurts would also count as an outlier. Mac Jones, I think he's an outlier because of the situation he fell into, where he went to New England with Bill Belichick. So that helps him a lot, because if there's any coach or organization that you would say is the closest to Alabama in the NFL, you would say
got to be
AC
the
Milan.
Patriots.
So he kind of fell in the right spot. But to me, yeah, it's an Alabama quarterback, and you're seeing that right there. I would argue, Lee, just to say it, the Dolphins would have made the playoffs if Justin Herbert would have been in Miami. I think if Justin Herbert's in Miami halfway through the year when they were kind of waffling back and forth between Fitzmagic and Tua, I think they would have just went straight out to Justin Herbert because he had the talent. He has the talent to play in the league, and he would have just taken the job from Fitzmagic, and Fitzmagic would have been the backup, and he would have been waiting for his opportunity, but they would have went to the playoffs if Justin Herbert was in Miami. Miami is going to regret this pick for a long time to come.
I mean, they've been regretting the whole passing up on Drew Brees. I mean, they're another franchise, unfortunately, that has quarterback woes when it comes to missing out. Speaking of quarterback woes and a team that misses out on quarterbacks, the Chicago Bears. Ooh, falls right into my lap. It was a beautiful transition. I'm just saying, hey, I didn't set it up like this. I didn't set it like this. It just set up on its own like this. All right, the Chicago Bears versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And like I say on the show all the time, I did not see Ish's picks. So for me, I was very surprised that he went ahead and went.
I was surprised you picked the Bears.
Well, I want to start off first. Let me go ahead and start off first on this game because honestly, looking back on this pick now, I feel like an idiot. Because looking at the Bears offense, the Bears ranked dead last in offense.
That's why I was surprised. Dead last in offense, yeah.
Look, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even look. I don't look at the stat. I look at film. Stats they add on to what I look at film wise with Justin Fields. I feel like he makes that team, he galvanizes. He makes that team play a little bit better. And I feel like as well, too, you got, of course, the young Jalen Hurts coming into this game. You have also the return of Khalil Mack coming into the Raiders organization, even though, of course, they played in Oakland when he was there. Of course, you have him coming back. And like you stated just a couple of topics ago, the Raiders are dealing with distractions at the moment. If you haven't heard about what's going on in the Raiders organization, John Gruden, unfortunately, is in a little hot water at the moment with an email that was sent out in 2011 about the NFLPA's representative DeMaurice Smith and, of course, the way of his appearance. And people, of course, are calling it racist. And, of course, it's easy to throw that out there to say that. Most likely it is let me tell you back. It is a racist statement. The question is what will happen after? What is it going to be a fallout? We don't think John Gruden is going to get fired. We'll probably issue an apology and keep moving and blah, 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 right?
He already issued an apology.
But that's what I'm saying. The point is it was a half-ass apology. Nobody's, John Gruden ain't going to get fired and we're going to keep moving. So my point is, even though it's not a big deal for them and the Raiders organization, this, that, third, I just feel like it's a distraction that's unnecessary. And I feel like the Bears slip into Vegas and it's going to steal one. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think every team has that like trap me game. Every team has that game where they kind of just fall asleep a little bit.
Are you talking about like Titans and the Jets?
Sure. Yeah. I guess we could say that until they give the Jaguars a victory today or something.
Oh Lord.
But to me, I honestly just picked the Bears I just think that there's just something about this game for me that I just think the Bears are going to find a way to win this game. One, it might be because, like you said, the distraction. There was a distraction going on. Two, because the Raiders tend to be the Raiders as far as 1 minute they look good, the next minute they don't look so good. And I think the Bears defense, I'm going to keep riding with them. Although I do think that they are an aging defense, they're a regressing defense. They find a way to create turnovers. They find a way to stop teams when they need to. And really what the missing piece has been for the Chicago Bears, like you stated at the beginning of this topic, they got the dead last offense in the league. So if they can find a way Justin Fields has come in. They played a little bit better with him last week. It seemed like they actually went back in game plan. Matt Nagy heard all the criticism and he said,
From
"All
us,
right,
yeah. Hey, listen to
we'll put
XtalknIsh.
something together."
That's
Yeah,
what
he
happened.
listened to us. He put something together. I think if they continue in that trend, you got to look past the fact that they're the dead last offense, because that was with Andy Dalton. That was with the week against Cleveland where they only got 47 total yards. So we got to look past those stats. We've got to look at what they've done with Justin Fields, how they've looked with him. And based off of last week, it looks like a different offense. It looks like an offense that's got a spark. It looks like an offense that's a little bit more dangerous. So I do think that they can find a way to win this game. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders win this game. But I just felt like, every now and again, you're going to have to throw a pick out there that you're just like, hey, I don't know. I'm just picking. I'm just going with it, right? So this is that pick for me this week where I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. I think the Bears going to find a way to win it.
And that's what I did with the Steelers game as well. I don't know why I picked the Steelers. Most likely the Broncos probably gonna win that game, but I feel like that was one of those picks. And this game might be one of those. See what happened was moments on Tuesday when we recap. Like, well, even though the Raiders won by 35 points, we thought the Bears had it. It's gonna be interesting. I definitely am excited to see that game and see what happens. I feel like the Bears are able to game plan for Justin Fields correctly. They can escape out of there with a win.
Most definitely.
This game-ish, I'm so happy this came up finally. Woo! I was waiting on this game. I'm going to need you to start off first, my brother, because what you did last Tuesday, you left a lot of people on here that tuned into the show. You left them on a little cliffhanger. And I'm going to need you to bring these people back up to the cliff, because you had me for a second, sir. You had me. You had me going. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go first.
Yeah, I know. I had everybody going last Tuesday. I had everybody, believing or disbelieving. I had everybody thinking like, man, what's going on? Is he going to choose the upset? Well, I'm going to go ahead and clear the suspense. I'm not choosing the upset, all right? I'm choosing the Cowboys because I'm not picking a guy. I'm picking a team. And right now, this team is a team on a mission. This team, they want to earn that moniker of America's team. They want to earn that, that championship talk that all of their fans love to talk every year until they go out in the first round or don't make the playoffs. This team, I just feel like, has too much going for them to lose a game to the Giants. I say that because, like I talk about all the time, like everybody who's around the sport, follows the sport, has played the sport, coached in the sport, knows there are games you have to win to be the guy. Against a division rival, at home, this is a game you have to win. Like, there is no excuse for losing to the Giants today. You must, if you are the team that we all think that you are now, the way you've been performing on offense, you seem unstoppable at the moment. You got all the momentum in the world. Everybody's starting to actually believe a little bit in the Cowboy mystique. They're starting to drink a little bit of the Cowboy juice.
Ooh.
You got to win this game. I'm sorry. I had to pick the Cowboys because I feel like there is no way they can lose this game. It's just unacceptable if they lose this game. So I went with the Cowboys. I do, however, want to give the caveat of I expect Danny Dimes to play well. I know Sterling Shepard is out, but I expect Danny Dimes to play well. I expect him to come out. I expect the Giants to come out and want to spoil this for the Cowboys. Because just as much as we're talking about how they have to win this game, the Giants understand that. The Giants going to want to spoil that. They want to come in and shut everybody up about the Cowboys. So I expect Danny Dimes to come out and do what he does. But this defense won't be able to stop the Cowboys. I'm sorry. If you're a Giants fan, that defense will not stop this Cowboys offense. And that is why I say I picked the team and not the player, because the Cowboys as a team will win this game.
I'll keep it very, very short and sweet.
Yeah, keep it short and sweet.
I picked the Cowboys because I'm a smart person. I'm gonna leave it at that. No, but on a serious note, I'll be damned if I pick Danny two pennies.
Danny Dimes.
No, because last week, he's been in the league for what, 3 years now? Okay,
Yeah,
and it took 3.5 years for him to finally have his best game ever as a pro.
Here we go.
Here we go.
That's not his fault. That has nothing to do with his.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with him.
You correct? No, you're correct.
The best player on a bad team.
Hold up. First of all, he's not even the best player. Second of all, it's Saquon Barkley.
Saquon
Barkley. The hell you laughing at?
Saquon Barkley. Danny Dimes run better than Saquon.
I'm laughing because it is actually fun. I'm not laughing at you.
Danny Dimes run better than Saquon.
All right. We're going to move on to the next topic because you stupid on that one. Oh, my God. First of all, you're disrespectful. Second of all,
why am I disrespectful for saying what everybody knows? You talk about the tape, bro.
Stop.
You talk about watching tape. Everybody,
we're not doing that.
Who watch tape?
We didn't just see Saquon Barkley run for a touchdown last week on the sideline. Danny Dimes, last time I checked last year, tripped over himself and busted his ass with nobody around him. Okay, so we're not going to do that.
For touchdowns all the time.
Danny Dimes rushed for 2-yard touchdowns.
Right. He rushed for 9.
He rushed for 2 yards for his 2-cent ass. That's what he do.
Bruh. He does it all.
All right, we're done. We're going to move on because you're tripping. I'm not here to defend Danny Dimes. Y'all New Yorkers, y'all can do that. Danny Dime, Danny half nickel, Danny two pennies, Danny 2 chains, whatever you want to call him. It ain't happening today. All right.
Right now, let me just throw this out there for everybody that wants to hate on Danny Dimes. Go check it. Who has more rushing yards this year? Saquon Barkley or Danny Dimes?
Here we go.
Danny Dimes by 2 yards, 188 to 186. All right, let's go ahead. They tied for rushing touchdowns at the moment.
Saquon missed the game.
They tied for rushing touchdowns at the moment.
Saquon missed the game.
Hey, all I'm saying is stats don't lie, bro. The stats.
That's the hell they do. Yes, the hell they do. Don't let nobody tell you that foolishness ass crap. Talking about stats don't lie. That's crap. Stats always lie. I don't give a damn what nobody say stats lie.
Danny is the better guy right now, man. 2 more yards.
Speaking of 2 more, we have 2 more games to talk about. So we can go ahead and get the hell up out of here because Ish is tripping. And we're going to talk about this 49ers Cardinals game. And let's be real, Ish, and I'll start this off first. If this was
I think we lost you, bro.
All right, sorry about that. Everyone looked like our servers went down for a second. We are back up and running.
Yeah, I was confused.
It's all good. It's all good. We back up and running. Looks like, of course, we almost had our own version of Facebook shut down for a second, but we're good. We back up and running. But anyways, with this game, if the 49ers didn't come in with all the injuries, I honestly probably would have said the 49ers, I think, will steal this game and give the Cardinals their first loss on the season. But with Cardinals being at home, Cardinals are playing very, very well. The Cardinals don't have too many injuries. I have to go with the Cardinals, just a better, safe, sound pick-ish.
Cliff, bro.
Talk to him.
You, homie.
Talk to him. He's right there.
I see you, homie. I mean, it's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this. We've been trying to build up to this point. I've had the faith in you every year in and year out. I'm constantly, trying to let everybody know, bro, my boy Cliff got it. My boy Cliff can do it, man. Y'all just got to throw your faith behind him. I said it this offseason. I said, man, they throwing their faith behind Cliff. He got to pull through for him. This the year. If he doesn't do it, he's got to go. And, man, Cliff, it's like you heard it. I know you watch the show. I know we talk about it all the time.
You be watching the show.
Cliff, bro, thank you. Just go ahead, keep doing your business, man. Keep handling it. I already know y'all got it. Trey Lance starting for the first game. We ain't even worried about him. Gonna go shut him down. Isaiah Simmons about to be on him like white on rice all day. White on rice.
Flies on shit. All right, then. Well, that's pretty much it to be said on that. Let's go ahead and, of course, check out the Sunday Night Football game, the wrap up for Week 5 on the Sunday games. We have a very, very great matchup and definitely could be a potential AFC Championship matchup. The Bills versus the Chiefs. Let's be real. The Chiefs playing at home is scary for any opponent to come in and play. the Buffalo Bills playing very, very well and playing with a great deal of confidence. And I'll go ahead and start this off first. And before this game even came up, this is something that Ish pretty much said when it comes to, hey, our defense is not that good. We need to get our defense better. It's been atrocious. And what the Bills did last week, I'm not saying the Texans are the Chiefs, I'm not saying that at all. But I feel like the Bills made what they did last week into a statement saying, hey, we're not gonna just beat the Texans. We're gonna show everybody that, look, this is what you do to bad teams as a good team. And that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not talking, of course, I'm not saying everybody's supposed to go out there and beat everybody 40-0, because then we'll also have sensitivity training and then all that other crap because it's 2021. Everybody feels get hurt, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, with that being said, the Bills, I feel like, have a lot of momentum going forward into week 5, and they will continue to ride their momentum, and they will pull off this win in Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas, and will continue to be the class of the AFC at the moment, but do not ever count out the Chiefs with that funky hair man of a man named Patrick Mahomes.
I expect Arrowhead to be rocking, aka Yeehaw. I'm gonna keep calling it Arrowhead. I expect Arrowhead to be rocking. It's gonna be crazy, as it always is, but definitely for primetime games, that stadium is one of the best in the league. And I know that they're going to be out there. They're going to be showing out. They're going to be loud. They're going to be crazy. This offense has been on a tear now. 405, 437, 471. That's the total yardage for the past 3 games. They have been just tearing it up in the league. They put up 42 last week. Came back with a vengeance after losing to the Chargers. I expect them to continue that. I expect Andy to be ready with multiple sets, getting Tyreek and these guys the ball. Potentially Josh Gordon might make an appearance. Who knows? But the Bills going to win this game. Bills going to win this game only because, last week they put up 471. The Eagles put up 461. Okay, the Eagles put up 461.
And Lee said, stop disrespecting Arrowhead. He said, it's still Jihad at Arrowhead, okay? So I always call it Arrowhead. Willie Gay, Ward are back. Clark, still game time decision, but those two should definitely help.
They're definitely gonna help. They're definitely gonna help. I think the pieces are coming together. It's starting to get back where it needs to be, but I think it's still too early. People just getting back to run into this Bills team. Another thing that I just want to say is that you got to be realistic when it comes to your teams in this league and how you go about picking games and everything. And I'm just going to be real. We don't expect very many teams to go undefeated, if any. We know that some teams are going to drop games here and there. It doesn't matter if the record is going to be 2-3 if they lose this game, because at the end of the day, there's still a lot of games left to be played. And they could end up at the end of the season with only 3 losses. Who knows? But I do think you have to pick. You got to look at the matchups. You got to look at the timing, the injuries, and I think for the Chiefs right now, it's the wrong time to run into the Bills. That's not to say that they don't have a chance. I think that they definitely could win this game. You could see another wonderful performance from Patrick Mahomes, and somehow the defense, make a play here or there with Tyrann Mathieu, and who knows? But I do think that this Buffalo Bills team at the moment is the best team in the AFC. Just at the moment, they're the best team in the AFC, and I expect them to find a way to win this game and then go from there.
I respect that tremendously, Ish. Alrighty then, y'all heard it here first on XtalknIsh. This is, of course, NFL Week 5 pre-game show, and we appreciate everybody as always for being on and in tomorrow night for our Monday Night Football recap of the first half, and of course tune in every Tuesday night for our, of course, weekly recap of the NFL on 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Thank you everyone for tuning in, And hey, I hope y'all enjoy y'all's football slate and whatever y'all watching. Go ahead and let me know what y'all watching so we can maybe watch together. We can talk a little bit about football. With that being said, we'll see y'all next time on X Talk.